One ordinary day, two ordinary men, blissfully unaware of the dark and mysterious political machinations continually going on in the wider world that may at any moment mean men such as these will require the knowledge provided by the probably doomed individual's guide to the end of the world. Now, receiving the news that the world is about to end may possibly cause some level of concern, ranging from mild irritation to the most extreme levels of blinding panic. But do not be concerned. Firstly, if the world does literally end, there is no point in being concerned. One cannot hope to survive Armageddon if the manner of the apocalypse actually destroys the planet. One must confidently assume a survival is assured if one is to consider properly and logically what to do in the face of oblivion. Praying as the end of the world approaches is a waste of what little time you may have left. There is no firm proof that any deity actually exists, and according to various religious teachings, the very deity you are praying to may actually be the one causing the end of the world. So, even if your God exists, if you haven't already prayed enough to be among the saved when the end comes, your time will be better employed in careful consideration of the practical steps you could take to ensure your chances of survival are maximized. A note of caution. Some steps are not as practical or sensible as they might seem to be in the heat of a moment of crisis. That said, they may have psychologically beneficial effects if, for instance, they prevent you being able to see the manner of the apocalypse. A further note of caution. Some steps you may take will inherently be more sensible than others, but, again, more likely to have psychological benefits than practical ones. It is unlikely that an event catastrophic enough to threaten the entire globe is something you will be able to escape from by hiding under a table. So, what can you do to maximize your chances of surviving Armageddon? Nothing. What you have heard so far has been an attempt to engage your mind with the topic at hand, but in all honesty, your survival is more a matter of luck than judgment. Get used to that fact, and fix in your mind the need to think ahead. Obviously, you will need the means to feed, clothe, and shelter yourself. But in the post-apocalyptic era, your survival will depend more on one thing than almost anything else you can imagine. That one thing is other people. Look around you. Assess other people. Are their eyes too close together? Do they smell unaccountably bad? Choose your associates well now, for the onset of the apocalypse will mean that the other people you happen to be closest to at the time, you are likely to end up stuck with. That said, even people you wouldn't choose to associate with can be of great benefit to you and you to them. The dangers of being isolated from other people are well documented, and Armageddon increases the possibility of isolation because of the associated decrease in the number of people to be isolated from. Other people are crucial to our sense of perspective. No matter how clever and creative we believe ourselves to be, without other people, we would soon lose the distinction between the reality outside our heads and the beliefs we create within. Other people help us feel safe. In the post-apocalyptic era, whether or not you feel safe is likely to be quite the issue. Other people allow us to make emotional connections, test our assumptions, challenge our fears, give us someone to smile at, and smile back at us in return. However, other people, by testing our assumptions, challenging our fears, and smiling at us, can, in circumstances of enforced proximity, create inner tensions and confusions that can lead to people turning each other on. My mistake. Tensions caused by enforced proximity can lead to people turning on each other. Since many of us pride ourselves on self-sufficiency, the admission that people need other people is not an easy admission for some to make, but it is one we must embrace. In principle, other people will be the greatest asset to anyone lucky enough to survive Armageddon relatively unscathed. Other people are a source of companionship, a source of joy, inspiration, strength, and, potentially, should the need arise, a source of food. In extreme circumstances, we may need to forget our natural squeamishness surrounding the idea of cannibalism and consider the calorific content and protein levels of human flesh, and regard other people not as delicious companions, but simply as delicious. Naturally, other people may not be in full agreement when we decide we are going to eat them, so you must expect other people to resist the notion of becoming your lunch, and to put up quite a struggle should you insist upon it. Also, they may decide that they are, in fact, going to eat us. Therefore arises a quandary. Can you trust your post-apocalypse companions? But there is no need to rush into this situation. No doubt there will be other survivors too, and the only dilemma then is ensuring we eat them before they eat us. In conclusion, surviving the apocalypse will be more luck than judgment, and may lead to tough, currently unpalatable choices. Thank you for listening to the Probably Doomed Individual's Guide to the End of the World. Goodbye.